But once again, very good morning, all of you. Today we discuss about the great landmarks, English medium, the geography. Okay, the lesson one. Let's discuss. Okay, wait. Okay, grade nine geography. Okay, wait. Hmm, that's great. Okay, and I hope all of you can clear. Okay, okay, wait. Okay, I hope all of you can clearly see. Okay, can you see the screen? Okay, let's try the topic. Okay, let's try the topic. First one, the Asian region. Okay, you can also write down the topic, the Asian region. Okay, the Asia is the continent that is largest continent in world. Okay, the Asia is the continent that is largest continent in the world. Okay, the Asia, and likewise, the Asia is separated by the Africa and Europe. Okay, the okay the Asia is the land by the Asia. Then is the Asia is shares the land with the eu- continent of Europe and continent of Africa. Okay, okay. Likewise, we can write the Asia is sh- share the land with the continent of Africa and Europe. Okay, likewise, and the continent of Asia. Okay, the continent of Asia is located at the southern hemisphere. Okay, the continent of Asia is located at the southern hemisphere. Okay, I'll change the font. Okay, likewise. Okay, likewise. Okay, we can move to the another one. Okay, they have two methods. Okay, they have two methods that we can describe the location of Asia. Okay, There have two methods that we can describe the location of Asia. What are the two types? Okay, what are the two methods that we can describe the location of the Asia? Okay, you can write the relative location. Okay, the relative location. Wait. Okay, the relative location and also the absolute location. Relative location and the absolute location. Okay. Okay. I told it really now. The They have two methods now. Okay. And we also written the what are the two methods that we can describe the location of Asia. What are the two methods? Let's read again. The relative location and absolute location. Okay. The relative and absolute. Yes. Okay. First, mainly we need to discuss the what is the relative location. No? Okay. We can write the subtopic relative location. Relative location of Asia. Okay. How do we describe the location of Asia with the using of the relative location? That seems, and you need to follow these three simple rules. Okay. Okay. I don't write the what are the three rules that we need to use to describe the location. I write the what is the relative location of Asia. Okay. In north. Okay. We need to write down the main direction of the earth: north, south, east, and west. And likewise, we also write down the what the main for direction. No, okay. Okay, I remove the underline. Okay, of each text, and you need to write down the what are the things or the what are the objects that are located and that are located by the north. In north direction, the Arctic Ocean is located. Okay, Arctic Ocean. In south, what will be the ocean? Indian, no? Indian Ocean. The Antarctic Ocean is not belongs to the continent of Asia, it belongs to the continent of Australia, okay? The Indian Ocean. In east, okay, the what will be the ocean? Pacific, no? You all of know. The Pacific Ocean is the left, that means the right side of the map, no? That means the in east, no? Right side means the east direction, no? That means the Asia is the located at the eastern side of the world map. Also that means the not the last continent. The previous last continent is the Asia, no? The last continent is the Australia. Okay, Australia also. That means the when we need to describe the relative location of Australia continent, the in the east also the Pacific Ocean is included. Okay, in the continent of Asia, the Pacific Ocean we can use. In west, the continent of Europe, no? Continent of Europe, the famous continent that are among the Sri Lankans. Okay. Okay. Lot of immigrants are work in the continent of Europe. Okay. Now also the lot of immigrants are the Sri Lankan immigrants are working in the Europe continent. Okay. Likewise, the Europe continent is well popular among the Sri Lankans. Okay. Likewise, if you written down these, okay, okay, if you written down these three things, that means these things, okay, we can move to the uniqueness of the Asia. Okay. Okay. I increase the size. Okay. And these these things are we written down in the previous one. No? Okay, the Asian continent. The Asian continent is the largest continent in the world. It also share in the land with the Africa and the Europe, and also the Asia is located at the southern hemisphere. There I have two methods that we can describe the location of Asia. The what are the three? That means what are the two methods that we can describe the location of Asia is relative and absolute. The relative location of Asia is from the north, the Arctic Ocean, from the south, Indian Ocean, from the west, the continent of Europe, from the east, Pacific Ocean. Likewise, we also discussed these things, okay, these things, okay, and we need to describe, okay, we need to describe them, means we need to learn the, what is the absolute location of Asia, okay, what is the absolute location of Asia, okay. If you write down these things, we can move the absolute location of Asia. If not, you can write down. Okay, 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 likewise, okay. Okay, let's move to the absolute location of Asia, okay? And let's move on. The absolute location of Asia. Okay? The absolute location of Asia. How do we write down the absolute location of Asia? Okay? We can use the longitudes and latitudes, okay? To describe the any location of the Earth. Also, we can use we can use the absolute location for the describe the location of Asia. What is the absolute location of Asia? 10 degrees, okay? 10 degrees to 80 degrees, okay? 10 degrees to 80 degrees. Wait, okay. 10 degrees to 80 degrees. Latitude, latitude to south, okay? Also, okay, you can also write down the also, but if you not need to write down, okay, south to wait, okay, and the 25 degrees, okay. Wait, wait. 25 degrees to 80 degrees, not 80 degrees, okay? The 25 degrees to 180 degrees longitude to south, okay? The longitude to south, okay? Okay. That is the absolute location of Asia, okay? You can also highlight and you can also, that means if you're not written down the screen, okay, you can highlight. That means you can, means likewise. That's your choice, okay? Okay. Okay. Let's read again. What is the absolute location of Asia? 10 degrees to 80 degrees latitude to south and 25 degrees to 180 degrees to east. Okay. Likewise, these are the two locational, that means the two, okay, two locational methods that we can describe the location of Asia. Okay. We also discussed the relative and absolute location of Asia. Only we need to describe the, okay, the uniqueness of the Asia. Okay. Uniqueness. Okay. Wait. The uniqueness of Asian continent. Okay. The uniqueness of Asian continent. What is the uniqueness of the Asian continent? I hope all of you are know. Okay. Let's find the uniqueness of Asian continent one by one, okay? The uniqueness of Asian continent is the largest continent, okay? You all of know the largest continent is the in present the largest continent is in the world is Asia, okay? The largest continent in the world, okay? Is simply we can describe the Asia, okay? Likewise, the most populous continent, okay? The most populous continent. Wait, the most populous continent. Over 4.46 billion peoples, okay? 4.46 billion peoples, okay? 4.46 billion peoples. Now currently living in the Asian continent, okay? Likewise, the largest continent, okay, the land area also 44 point, okay, the 44.6 million square centimeter, okay, million square centimeters, okay. Likewise, okay, wait, the largest continent, the most populous continent, and also the birthplace to many major religions, okay, birthplace to many major religions, okay. That means Buddhism, the Lord Buddha also, the Lord Buddha was also born in the India, no? The India is located to the Asian continent. And also the Muslim, that mean Islamic. Islamic. The what is the name of the leader of the Islamic region? I don't know. But he was also born in the Saudi Arabia, no? Near the Saudi Arabia. Yes. Because also the Hajj also celebrated due to the birth the celebrate the birth of the his leader, no? That means these people leader they also celebrated the festival to remember the date of the his birth. and also Christian. The Jesus, no? The Jesus was also born in the near the Israel, no? Near the Israel, okay. Likewise, the Israel also belongs to the Asian continent. And also Hinduism. Hinduism. The Rama, oh Rama, I don't know. But the god also was born in the near the India, no? Yes, near the India. Okay. These four religion leaders are born in the continent of Asia. We also described, no? Likewise, the the location of the highest mountain peak. What is the highest mountain peak in the world? That is Everest, no? The Mount Everest. Everest of Himalaya. The highest mountain peak is Everest, no? The largest mountain range is Himalayas. Okay, likewise, the presence of that means yes, presence of different climatic features. Okay, that's enough now. Likewise, we can read again. What are the uniqueness of Asian continent? The largest continent in the world, the 44.6 million square centimeters. Likewise, okay, we can remove the square because the square centimeter is represented by the this two, no? The most populous continent, over 4.46 billion people are currently live in the Asian continent. Birthplace to many major religions, Buddhism, Islamic, Christian, and Hinduism. The location of highest mountain peak, Mount Everest, and also presence of different climatic features. And okay, you can write down these one, two, three, four, five features of the Asian. Okay, I was skip the one part of the first page of the your geographical book. Okay, okay. I need to discuss this one also. What that means? Wait. Okay, I can use the different sign. Likewise, this sign. Wait, wait, wait. Wait, and let's discuss. Okay, okay. The from the geographical view of the Asia, the continent of Europe and continent of Asia is both located at one landmass called Eurasia. Okay, you all of know the Eurasia is the point. Okay, you can also write down Eurasia is the point that which the continent of Europe and Asia Wait. Sharing their lands. Okay. Eurasia is the point. Okay. Eurasia is the point that which the continent of Europe and Asia share in their land. Okay. Likewise, I hope all of you are written these five things. Okay. If you written down these five things, you can write down this one also. Okay. If not, I can give the some of the little bit of time. Okay, wait. Okay. And we can move to I hope all of you are writing down these five things. And because of that, I move to the remaining part of the first page. And what are the boundaries of the Asia that separate the Asia from the Europe and Africa? Okay. The boundaries. Okay. We can also write down the boundaries of the Asia that separates, okay, the location of Asia from the continent of Europe and Africa are, okay, the Suez Canal, Mediterranean, Mediterranean Sea, and also the what are the other things? Black Sea, Red Sea, and also the Ural Mountain Range, and also last one, the River Ural. Likewise, these are the boundaries that separate the continent of Asia from the continent of Europe and continent of Africa. Okay. Wait, the spellings of Mediterranean are wrong. Okay. Okay, the Mediterranean Sea, Black Sea, the Suez Canal, River Ural, Ural Mountain Range, and also Ural Mountain Range, Red Sea, Black Sea, the Mediterranean Sea, the Caspian Sea, Suez Canal, and also the what are the other things? And also Caucasus Mountains. Okay, Caucasus Mountains. Okay, and if written down, you can also write down the this one also. Okay, what are the small islands that are located at the that means what are the small islands that are belongs to the continent of Asia? The smaller islands are likewise Andaman and also Nicobar. And also the most of popular destinations that are among the travelers are Maldives, no? The Maldives, Nicobar, Andaman, then are the small islands that are belongs to the Asian continents. Yes, Maldives. And what are the large islands that are belongs to the Asia? We also we also written down the what are the small islands. Let's read again. Andaman and Nicobar, Maldives, the most traveler, the famous destination among the travelers. No, the famous destination among the travelers are Maldives because the scene of the beauty, the scene of the sea, and also scene of the airport are given the most beauty. That means the more beauty to the travelers, and the famous destination among the lot of travelers. That means a lot of foreigners are Maldives. Okay. Likewise, the larger islands that are belongs to the continent of Asia is okay. Wait. What are the large islands that are belong to the Asian continent? The Japanese, Taiwan, and also Sri Lanka, and also what are the other examples? Philippines, Indonesian. These are the large islands that are belongs to the okay Indonesian, Philippines, Sri Lanka, Japanese, and Taiwan are the large islands that are belongs to the continent of Asia. Likewise, the Maldives, Andaman, and Nicobar are the continents that are belongs to the smaller islands. Okay. Likewise, the small islands and large islands we also written down. Okay. Likewise, we need to only discuss the what are the okay the relationship them is what are the land island that are belongs to the continent of Asia. No? According to the size of the okay, you can also write down according to the size of the continent of Asia, continent of Asia. The okay more than more than 50% the peoples are live in the continent of Asia. Okay. Okay. Likewise, the average density of the average density of the population of the continent of Asia is 87 per square kilometer. Okay. 87 per kilometer squared. Okay. The average density the average density of the population of continent of Asia is 87 per the square kilometers, but sometimes the average density the average density some of the places are 3000 per square kilometer. Okay, 3000 per square kilometer. The average of density of the population of continent of Asia is 87 per square kilometers, but sometimes the average density of the some of the places are 3000 per square kilometers. Okay, likewise the India, China, Russia, the lot of population are living in the the China, India. Likewise, in some of the places of India, China, likewise, the average density, likewise, it increases to the 3000 per square kilometers. Okay. Okay. Also, you can write down the living languages. Okay, the living languages that are available in only China is 297 languages. Okay, the living languages that are available in only China is 297 languages. Okay, you can imagine what is the size of the China, no? Also, that means likewise the living languages only in China is 297. That means the lot of the population. That means lot of population also the lot of the cultural. That means lot of likewise like that's that's huge, no? Huge. Yes. The cultural diversity also very increases in the China because the most populous countries in the Asia also, China and India in 2017, the China is the most populous continent, but now the India is the most populous continent. Not continent, it's the subcontinent also because the India is separated by the continent of Asia by the Himalayan mountain range. Because of that, the India is called as the subcontinent of Asia. Also, they are also had the huge civilization, Mesopotamian, Indian, Pangmo, Indus. Likewise, they are also had the major civilizations. Okay. After when you are written down these these things, we can move to the physical landscape of Asia. Okay. If not, we can end the class. That's your choice. Okay. And let's read again. Okay. The Asian continent. The Asia is the continent that is largest continent in the world. It also share in the land with the Africa and Europe, and also the Asian continent is belongs to the southern hemisphere. And there have two methods that we can describe the location of Asia, relative and absolute. And also we also discuss the relative location of Asia from the north, south, east, and west. Arctic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean also. Continent of Europe also belongs to the these four directions. Okay. Also the main directions. The absolute location of okay, the absolute location of Asia also 10 degrees to 80 degrees latitude to south, and also 25 degrees to 180 degrees longitude to east. What are the uniqueness of Asian continent? The largest continent, the most populous continent, birthplace to many major religions, the location of highest mountain peaks, and also presence of different climatic features. And also, okay, wait. The Eurasia is the point that which the shares the land, the continent of Europe and Asia. Okay, the boundaries of Asia that separate the location of Asia from the continent of Europe and Africa are Suez Canal, Caspian Sea, Mediterranean Sea, Black Sea, Red Sea, Ural Mountain Range, and a river Ural. Likewise, okay, the what are the small islands? It belongs to the Asia. The Maldives, Andaman and Nicobar. The large islands are the Japanese, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, Philippines, Indonesia. According to the size of the continent of Asia, more than 50% people are living in the continent of Asia. The average density of the population of the population of Asia is 87 per square kilometers. But sometimes the average density, some of the places are 3000 per square kilometers. The living languages that are available in only China is 297. Okay. Okay. Wait. Okay. We can skip the physical landscape of Asia and we can move to the climatic features of the Asia. Okay. That's the very interesting the subtopic of this lesson. Okay. And also because of that, we can skip the physical landscape of Asia and after the end of the lesson, okay, end of the first lesson of your geography book, we can discuss the physical landscape of Asia. Let's discuss the climate of the Asia. Okay. There have three climatic zones of Asia. Okay. Okay. The earth is divided into three parts now. Okay. We can also write down the world is divided into three zones. Okay. What are the three zones? Okay. According to the variation, okay, according to the variation of the distribution of temperature, okay. Okay, there is a sharp distinctive, no? They also have sharp distinction among these two topics, no? Likewise, the according to the variation of the distribution of the temperature, okay, we can categorize, okay, okay, we can separate the Asian continent into three parts, okay. Okay, let's discuss. Okay, let's also write down the what are the three parts that we can separate the continent of Asia. Wait. The tropical zone, tropical, temperate, and also frigid, no? Frigid. Okay, you can also write down. You can also write down. The temperate means the warm, no? Wait. Warm, no? Warm climate. The temperate is we can simply call as the mild. The mild, that means the mild climate, no? Likewise, the frigid is we can simply call as the cold. Okay, the cold climate. Okay. I reduce the climate. Okay. And these are the climate of Asia, the tropic. That means also you can write down the tropical, temperate, and frigid. Okay. Okay. We can also discuss these three zones each one by one. Okay. I started by the tropical zone. Okay. That means tropical climate. What is the special feature that we can clearly identify by the tropical climate? The temperature in that region is more than 18 degrees. Also they receives the okay they receives the sunlight whole of the year. Okay, they receive the sunlight whole of the year. Therefore, the warm climate is prevent in here. Sorry, prevent, not prevent, prevails in here. The temperature in that region is more than 18 degrees, and also they can receive the sunlight whole of the year. Therefore, warm climate is prevails in here. And let's move to the temperate, no? The temperate climate. Temperate. What is the reason? Okay. What is the thing that we can observe in the temperate? Okay, the average temperature. Okay, the average temperature in that region is lower than tropical zone. Okay, lower than tropical zone. Okay, and also wait, the seasonal climate. They can okay the seasonal climate exist, and also the due to the increase and weight due to the increase and decrease of the temperature exists in that region. Also a clear warm season and the cold, that means cold winter season, they can experience. Okay, okay, wait. What's that happen? Shoo. Okay, that's it now. Wait. Okay. The tropical climate, the temperature in that region is more than 80 degrees, and also they receive the sunlight whole of the year. Therefore, the warm climate is prevails in here. In temperate climate, the average temperature in that region is lower than tropical zone. Also, they can feel, that means they can experience the seasonal changes, and also they can receive that means they can experience the clear warm season and also the cold winter season. Okay, likewise. Okay, if you written down these two things, we can move the temperate, not temperate, we can move the frigid, not frigid climate. Okay, we can move the frigid climate now. Also, that means cold climate. Right? And also, we can move to the cold climate now. And let's move to the cold climate. Okay, wait.